All right, man, let's talk. Let's talk heavy, 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 heavy. So heavy, heavy. All right. Let's talk about the Lions not making any deals at the trade deadline. So I wasn't surprised. Think insanity, or the definition I know is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. You know, with the Lions, y'all, it's the same thing over and over again, regardless, the regime, the owner, the colors, the location. It's just still the same thing. They're not going to make a move. They just not. And then, the thing about it is when you make a move and it doesn't result in a championship, the next year people will be like, well, where'd the draft picks go? You have to remember the Lions traded a lot of draft capital over the last few years for the Manu guy, for the Tesla guy to maneuver around the draft. So they didn't have a lot of capital to play with. The Bengals, for the most part, they, did what the Lions did with Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, held them hostage. With Trey Hendrickson, they said, well, we want a first-round draft pick for a guy that's on an expiring contract that you got to pay. Nobody's going to pay a first-round draft pick, and don't be surprised if they don't franchise Trey Hendrickson again. A lot of times for a lot of these owners, it's a power trip. That's what it's about. It's a power trip. When you hear about those girls going to Dubai, I really didn't understand what do a man get out of, urinating and having a bowel movement on a woman? What do you get out of it? People say it's a power trip. You know what I'm saying? And with the owners, it's the same thing. Like the control over the players, yeah, you may have the fame, you may have the chicks, you may have the clout, the motion, but I still got power over you. And I think with Mike Brown, it's about having power over the players. Even with Shamar Stewart, he made him put that clause in his contract because it's about breaking let me say all this about a lot of owners real quick. A lot of these owners are jealous of these players. That's what y'all don't understand. A lot of the owners are jealous of these players, man, because they're tall, they're handsome, they're everything they not. They got the money, but they will never be 6'4". They will never be 240 pounds. They'll never run the 40, but they got the money. But they're not content with money. That's one thing you have to understand with people with money, especially, short, stubby guys that got money, or guys that's jealous or jealous. They really, even guys with money, they're jealous of the guys who naturally have motion, that naturally can get women. And that's the thing about NFL owners. They're jealous of a lot of the players because even though they can accumulate billions and billions of dollars, they can accumulate 6'4". They can accumulate a girl liking them because they're tall and handsome or whatever, blonde hair or long hair. They can never do that. So you're wondering why he did that to Trey Hendrickson. It's jealousy. I want to be able to win. I want to be able to dominate somebody. They don't dominate their wives. They don't dominate their household, so they can dominate these players. So it's about a power trip. So no way you give up a first round draft pick to a guy that you're probably not going to trade for an 8-game, 10-game stint. What if y'all don't make the playoffs? What if you don't win the Super Bowl? It was a gamble go wrong. Now you don't have a first-round draft pick, which for the Lions, you're going to need a left tackle. You're going to need a few things. So the Lions not going for it, it doesn't surprise me. They added a practice squad player. This is who they are. That's why when they got Rasheed Wallace on the Pistons, it was such a big deal because Detroit teams, really outside the Red Wings or the original Illich father, they don't make moves like that. They don't really never go for it. And without that move for Rasheed Wallace, the 04 Pistons never would have won a move like that. Detroit teams historically never win for it. Especially the Lions, they don't go for it. They don't go for it. So for y'all to be shocked, for y'all to be, being upset and mad about it, this is who they've been. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to be no Quentin Williams. It wasn't going to be no Sauce. It wasn't going to be any Bengal. It wasn't going to be. I know Logan Wilson got traded to the. It wasn't going to be that. It wasn't going to be even a Jalen Phillips. They got him for a third round. He got traded for a third round pick. That's expensive for a guy coming off 2 major lower body injuries. So if he was going for a third round pick, at the end of the day, people say, well, how do you look at that? They must be banking on Marcus Davenport coming back too. And the thing about that, how many times have they banked on Davenport? I would just tell people, the Lions, they're Super Bowl contenders, but I would say by default. And people might be like, well, what do that mean the Lions are Super Bowl contenders by default? Because the NFL is not that good right now. It's not that many good teams in the NFL. You know, they're Super Bowl contenders by default. So I know it's hard for people to fathom that and understand that and all that, but they're Super Bowl contenders by default. Because ain't nobody really dominant. Even in Philadelphia going through things, Stafford back injury, Puka Nacua. By default, anybody can win it this year if it's a legit chance to win it. If they don't fix it for Kansas City, and more likely, they're going to fix it for Kansas City to win. So, I mean, let me show you the suspense. The Lions will never go for it. They will never go and make a play like that for it. And that's fine. That's fine and dandy. So, I mean, I'm not shocked. I don't really care about it. You know, y'all like, get an offensive line. You can't just get offensive linemen and plug them in. Like, no, that's a camaraderie thing. It's a unison thing. You know, they have to be able to play together for some time. You can't just take number 66 off the Patriots or, you know, off the Indianapolis Colts and plug them at guard and expect for it to work. It's not interchangeable. So, offensive linemen, they are a family. They are a brotherhood. If they don't have chemistry, then they really don't have much. So, but man, it is what it is. I don't understand why y'all get y'all hopes up every year. And they do this. Detroit teams do this every year. Ain't their definition of a big name player is DJ Reader. I mean, I guess DJ Reed, DJ Reader, Charlie Villanueva, Ben Gordon. That's their definition. They're not going to never make a splash because they have to overpay the guys to come here. So there ain't going to be no sauce coming here. There ain't going to be no, you know, no big name. Even a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau. So it's going to be the draft or nothing. And, you know, had, you know, some of the players he drafted stayed healthy, they'd probably be hosting the Lombardi Trophy up right now. Nobody would really be complaining. And what did Dan Campbell say? I don't think we're going to make any moves. He told you. So don't get mad about it. Face the reality that most likely the Lions won't win the Super Bowl. Hate to break that to y'all. Y'all get y'all hopes up. They might get a win over Washington or competitive, but he won't win one. I'm telling you, bro. Not this year. You know, maybe another year with John Morton, another year with the offensive linemen being together. But short of them going to get Seifert, which it didn't happen, and Frank Ragnow coming back, wasn't nothing going to save them. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. So with a new offensive coordinator, a limited quarterback with his foot mobility, if the offensive line ain't on point, they're going to be in trouble. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree, find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.